And so I started to listen. And I realized, halfway through that walk, I realized that actually I had never ever listened before. And in fact, I didn't know how to listen. I knew how to speak, I knew how to think, but I didn't actually know how to listen to people. What do I mean by that? Whenever somebody was speaking to me, I would have a conversation going on in my mind. I would be listening, and at the same time, I would be talking. Relatively quickly into the yatra, the talking completely stopped. And all I was doing was listening to the people who were coming next to me. And I discovered that there is a completely different way of communicating with people, a much more powerful way of communicating. And that way involves me or us becoming completely silent and listening deeply to exactly what it is they're trying to say. I'll give you an example. The one that really struck me. We were walking. It was early morning, it was still dark. And this woman came running towards me, and she held my hand. And the moment she held my hand, I felt fear in her hand. I didn't say anything. And I asked her, "What's happened?" And then she started. And she said to me, I've come here to walk, but I have to go back. I have to go back quickly. I said, "Why?" She said, "Because my husband is beating me. My husband is thrashing me, and I have come here to this yatra." And then I said to her, I said, "What do you want me to do?" And she looked at me, she says, "I don't want you to do anything. I just want you to know that this is happening to me." And the moment she said that, her hand completely relaxed. And I realized that it was as important for her to be heard, for me to understand and us to understand exactly what it was that she was going through. That was as important as any action we could take. And in 1 second, she transmitted to me what millions and millions of women go through in their homes. So our opposition really does not know how to listen, because they already have all the answers. They know exactly what is supposed to be done. And this is completely flawed, because it is the people who know what has to be done. And if there is one thing that we have failed at with all the social media and all the modern communication methods, it is that we have, as politicians, failed to deeply listen to what our people are trying to tell us. And this is the space where we can really operate, because our opponents have completely vacated this space. They're not there. They don't exist there. The second thing I learned, even more powerful than listening properly, on the yatra, it suddenly struck me, something struck me, that when it comes to people I'm close to, my mother, my sister, my friends, I'm very comfortable using the word love. And it struck me that I've been in politics since 2004. And I never ever used or expressed love to anybody. So I was saying to people that I want to help you. I was working hard to help people, but I was not expressing the reason I was working. And so on the yatra, I started to do so. Little girl came up to me running and she said, "Uncle, I love you." And I was like, that's interesting. Why have I never said this before? Why have I never used this narrative that is the central narrative and the reason for what I do? And so I started. I would listen, and then I would use the frame of love and affection, and I would tell people that, you know, I love you very much. And something quite amazing started to happen. Till the yatra, I never used the frame of love, and nobody else used the frame of love. So I didn't have people coming up to me and saying, "I love you." And since I started using the frame of love, since I started saying to people these sort of uncomfortable words, that listen, I love you and that's why I do what I do, that's why I work, suddenly they started to respond. And today, in public meetings, on the street, people will stop me and say, "We love you, I love you." And the powerful thing about that is it starts the conversation at a place from where it's very, very easy to operate. Often we think that we are going to connect to people indirectly through policy, through the future. We'll help you with your children's education. We'll help you with finance. And there's a place for that. But there is also a way to connect directly to the persons present. Directly saying to them that the reason I'm standing here and the reason I'm doing what I do is because I have affection, love and affection for you. And it has completely changed my politics. It has made my life so much easier. It has made my ability to connect with people so much easier, I cannot tell you. On the yatra, we got a slogan. The slogan in Hindi is "Nafrat ke bazaar mein mohabbat ki dukaan," which people who understand Hindi will translate. But what it basically means is that in a marketplace of hatred, you are opening a shop of love. Now, this slogan became very, very powerful in India. The idea that no matter how much hatred someone spreads, the biggest and most powerful way to disrupt them is not to copy them, not to argue with them, not to fight with them, but right in front of their hatred, to place the idea of love and affection. So that, I think, is a framework, a potential framework